Tell a story or a time or a job or a call that sort of knocks you or was quite gruesome or...
It was almost a catalyst, yeah, I've got plenty of them, but one in particular. We were on a night duty. I knew what night duties are like. You just want to get through it, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
And the first part, if it's busy, you get knackered by the time you get to 3, 4 o'clock. You got the witch an hour, 3, 4. And then if we're finishing at 7, especially if you're on a busy car, a busy response car, or if you're on the area car as an operator.
Yeah.
I think I was on the area car that night. I think I was some years ago now. It was the summer. You remember tiny little things. So the sun came up early. So we got through the night duty. It was super busy. I had a load of reports to do. I wasn't driving. I think I was an operator. So I'd have a load to do. I put stuff on when I could, but there was still 1 or 2 to put on, Chris reports and stuff. And it must have been 6:15. Who wants to take a call at 6:15?
It's a horrible time to
be
taking
a call at 6:15, especially a big one. Which but they say sun's just coming up. Everyone has. Some are on patrol, some are doing reports. As you know, we all get and do reports, last knockings, because we don't want to be late off and get reports done. So I'm in the middle doing a report. Call comes out to this location, says female occupier of a flat's looked out of our bedroom window and can see a male in the middle of the road on his knees. The sun's just coming up and he's shouting for help. But she thinks he's shouting for help, but he's not making any discernible words. It's on his knees. And we go, what the hell is this about?
I'm thinking mental health straight away.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, this is going to be shite.
Yeah.
So we go anyway. I think it was me and Spanners to start with, possibly. We go, we turn up. It's on the road, there's houses opposite, but the road's quite wide. We turn up, so I can't say anything, I'm looking up the road. And I say, there's someone up on the road there. It's been RTC or something, it's been hit. Is he pissed? What's that about? We turn up, there's a guy on his knees and literally pull up. I said, just stop short for a minute, stop short. So stop short for obvious reasons. You want to rush into it and not know what's going on. Get out and walk up. And there's this bloke, it's on his knees, and I start getting a little bit closer. Like, you hear the birds tweeting in the background, the sun's coming up. Surreal. And he's gargling. And I'm thinking, what's wrong with him? And then I look, and his left arm is severed, apart from a piece of skin.
Jesus Christ.
And hanging in 90 degrees.
Yeah.
Which part I'm going, RTC perhaps. And you know how it works, your job head kicks in.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like your brain goes, bump, trauma, job head, on we go, get on with the job. Rather than, oh, that's terrible. And as normal people would, but we ain't normal, let's face it. The arm's hanging down, at which point, and I suddenly look over, but Spanners, I think he's been hit by a car. So that man I'm with gets out, start walking over. But then I get a bit closer and I realise the reason why he's gargling is because someone's tried to chop his head off.
Shit.
And he's severed through his windpipe, partially through his windpipe, right the way through the back of his head. You know the Pez dispensers?
Yeah.
His head swiveled that far back on the, like a Pez dispenser. Oh. He's on his knees. It was like the night of the living dead. This man, because he's trying to speak, but he can't because his voice box has been severed. He's trying to breathe, but he can't breathe properly because most of his windpipe's gone, and he's effectively not breathing through his mouth anymore. He's breathing through the hole in his neck, where his windpipe would have been. Yeah. But people do you know, when the people can't breathe through that, the medics do it like that.
Oh,
so he's on his knees, gargling. I shout to Spanners, what's going on here? This bloke's there, try and save him. So I'm getting in, blood everywhere as you would imagine. Spanners is working on this arm. Spanners he's a resilient man, but he's he's like, yeah, what do we do, Del? I'd not long done the ballistic emergency life saving, so I was switched on. Just thought, I need to do this, catastrophic bleed, blah, 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 get on with it, do it. Other people turned up. I think one of the guys turns up who was well known for being, can't remember his name now, well known for getting stuck in, but suddenly saw this scene and froze. Just froze to the spot. I remember glancing at him and he just frozen to the spot. At which point I'm then registering in my brain, I know I'm watching this, but this must be bad because if he's frozen and he's a resilient sod, this is bad. But my brain's almost like my brain didn't register it. So I'm then, as a teacher, trying to apply pressure, because I'm trying to apply pressure to his neck, but forgetting that the bit I'm applying pressure to because I've got my glove on, is going into his neck, and I'm now blocking his windpipe that's inside of his throat, where his trachea is.
Yeah.
So he's fighting me now, because I didn't realise at this time.
Yeah.
He's fighting me. He's literally fighting for all his life, kicking out and all the rest of it. Hems turn up, but it's the Hems car, not the air ambulance.
Yeah.
They turn up. We bandage him. They then said, we're going to need your help. We need to stick him in an ambulance. We need to blue light him down to the Royal London. We get halfway down this major road. I won't mention it because it tells us what it would give us a location, but we'll get halfway down this major road and it's a 4-lane carriageway. Luckily it's very quiet and so have to stop, he's going, we're losing him. So we pull the trolley out onto the road, the A road, in the middle of it, risking all sorts, and they start working on him literally in the middle of the road. And they cut all his clothes off, so obviously look for secondary wounds. We did that at the scene. Cut all the clothes off to do a full 360, and he's in the middle of the road on this trolley getting worked upon. At which point one of the medics turns around and says to me, throws me an IV, goes, can you put IVs in? I said, no. She says, I'm going to need you to stick an IV in because I need to work on his throat. She said, give me an IV. So I'm trained to do this, but he's given me an IV. I said, I'll give it a go. But luckily enough, I'm about to stick this IV in his arm. This man's thrashing around and all the rest of it. Medic then comes across and gives it put the IV in, stick him in the ambulance, send him off to hospital. I'm in the back as continuity officer going with the ambulance. Don't even realise I'm there with my colleague. They take him in, literally take us to the door of the theatre.
Oh shit, okay, yeah.
To the door of the theatre. Don't even go through triage, straight to the door of the theatre. I'm sat there with my colleague thinking, what's hairy, wasn't it? At which point one of the surgeons comes out, there's 2 surgeons, one of the surgeons comes out and he's full of garb and he says, you boys have been in the wars, haven't you? I said, what do you mean?
Yeah.
And we looked down,
Covered.
we're covered. I know you guys have been through this before, head to foot, because I didn't realise, in blood, to the point where my blue trousers are sodden. I touch it, go,
yeah.
I feel the blood, and my boots are ruined. I can feel the blood in my socks, like I've stepped in a puddle. And we are stinking of iron, because blood smells of iron, doesn't it? Especially the front blood that was cut when it's spurting. So we end up getting the blue overalls from some surgeon. We're sitting there looking like medics. And only 25 minutes after the incident, we're sitting there on a cup of tea going, that was dodgy, wasn't it? Having a little debriefing, which says what we're doing. But wearing clothes that don't bear any resemblance to what we went in. Yeah. We then knock off duty, go home, and it's then transpires that what we did that night saved his life.
Jesus Christ, fair play.
Which was very surprising, because I thought, this man's gone.
The man at near had his head chopped off.
Yeah.
Do you know how all of this
came about? Yeah, I'll tell you that now, absolutely. Because as we all know, we never get to find out when we're at the scene what it's about. So when people turn around and say, oh, you're prejudicially this, that, you're that, each other, that's nonsense, because we don't get told that bit of information of how this comes about. We deal with what's in front of us.
Absolutely. It's
afterwards you may, not necessarily all the time, get told about what the circumstances were. Circumstances are this. He was a gang member. He'd paid somebody off to do with drug money that he'd owed. So 4 of them, because one of the ladies in the flat said there was 4 afterwards in the aftermath, they ran off. One witness who didn't want to put pen to paper said, I heard a commotion, there's shouting and screaming. I saw a guy that the police dealt with later on. He was there arguing with them. One bloke came up to him, punched him in the face, and he was a little bit woozy. He grabbed his hair and shouted really loudly, now I'm going to cut your fucking head off. Whereupon they pulled a machete out, tried to cut his head off in the street whilst the others stood around and watched him. Thought he managed to do it and thought that's enough, he's probably going to die from that. This bloke was flailing around, and as his arm came up, he thought, he could hear him shout, have some of this, you fucking arsehole, and went and took his arm as well, which is where his arm was severed.
Yeah.
Strangely enough, we had then done prior to that evening, we'd been sent to do a please allow to knock on a door for a mum who'd said that her son had gone missing. Didn't mention anything about gang affiliation or anything like that. Could we report it as a missing person? We said, well, how long has he been missing for? So less than 24 hours. We reported it, of course. But it transpires what they'd done is they'd kidnapped them, they took them hostage, they had beaten 7 bells at them, they decided to kick him out of a car there because it was on their ground in that location. He disrespected them as they went to drive off and they went, God, I'm not having that, you're not disrespecting me, you're lucky we'll let you go, and decided to deal with them and go, we'll kill him anyway, and try to leave him there. That was that incident. Did it have a massive effect on me? Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did. That and many other ones, but that one's particularly gruesome. Did we deal with it?
Of course we did.
Yeah, we dealt with it. And had there been suspects there, we would have dealt with that, I know.
Yeah.
Very effectively.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Have you spoke to anyone about that then? Like, saying it affects you, it affected you?
Yeah, I wasn't debriefed at the time. I think we went back the net, because we got off late. It was like 8, 9, 10 o'clock in the morning by the time we got off. My team had gone home.
Yeah, that's true.
The new team had come on.
Yeah.
So what we did was rock up at the Nick, and they turn and go, what are you wearing blues for? Theatre blues, or because we dealt with that dodgy call. They go, alright then. What's the overtime code? It's the way home. And they go home, and then I think we were 4 days off.
Okay. Yeah.
So I go home to their missus and say, this happened tonight. She goes, I don't want to hear it. I don't want it's too gruesome. Don't want to hear it. Don't want to hear it. At which point you think, what do you mean you don't want to hear it? Yeah. You're my missus. I'm supposed to be able to tell you these things. And then an argument occurs. And you know what? In hindsight, no, they don't want to hear it. Why would they want to? Because you get secondary trauma from being told that, because they know it's really not on the telly. Yeah. And it takes a while to come to that realisation. At the time you just say, I want to offload this onto you. What's wrong with you? Let's go.
I take it by the time the 4 days of rest days comes back round, you speak to your team, it's sort of...
They've gone home and dealt with it, how they deal with it, and you speak to your team, they go, that last knockings, what was that about? What was that about? I heard it on the radio, but we just done nights and we just want to get ourselves away home, so no one was interested.
No real debrief.
No, really, and then a governor might go, you alright Derek? And I go, and then my traditional style, of course I'm alright, why wouldn't I be?
Yeah.
Have I spoken about people since? About it to people since? Yeah, I have. Yeah, I've spoken to a counsellor. Yeah. Not about that incident. Well, yeah, about that incident and many others. It was similar to that and worse. People say, what's worse than that? There are far worse than that. There are far worse, despite the fact that's traumatising. And I'm speaking to a counsellor about it because of the drip effect over the years and the incidents that it has on you and has on your mental health. Because we're not all made of stone. None of us are made of stone.
No, absolutely not. It's like Matt says, we're not bulletproof.
No.
We may think we are, but we're not.
Yeah, and we can put up with a lot, but there's a certain saturation point.
Yeah. Bottle just tips over and it starts spilling out.
Yeah, but it's very surreptitious, isn't it? Because during the time that your bottle hasn't tipped over, you're amassing all these traumatic things in your head. You're thinking, all right, nothing's happened to me, so I must be untouchable. I must be like, some superhero because I've watched all this nonsense that's gone on, all this trauma. Have I started to hit the bottle and take 30 Valium a day? No. Am I still training at the gym? Yep. Yeah. Am I still going out and functioning and it hasn't affected me? No, it hasn't. So you just keep on going. Yeah. And don't talk to anybody about it because you don't feel the need to talk to anything about it because it's very surreptitious and sneaky. And then all of a sudden it jumps on you.
Yeah, absolutely.
For whatever reason.
Well, thanks for sharing that with us.
Yeah, it's a good story.
No worries.
No worries. Any questions?
No, that's a great story. I think that'll clip up real. That'll clip up. It's for a reel. That'll be brilliant on a reel.
Jesus.
Yeah.